Hi, my name is Kayla McCullum. I'm a program coordinator at Connections Abilities Resources, which is under the Developmental Disability Resource Board of Jasper County, or DDRBJC.
I'm Rebecca Auberry. I am also a program super coordinator here at Connections. A little bit of history. We've been involved with LifeCourse since about 2016. So one thing I want to say in the beginning is it takes some time to get your staff where you want them to be or your organization.
Okay. All right. So today we are going to be talking about walking the talk, charting the life course and organizational action. This is about embedding charting the life course into your agency, your guidance, and your policies. So this isn't just about doing the tools, it's about integrating these principles and the framework into everything that you do. Okay, so I like memes, so I've shared a meme here, one of my favorites. That essentially talks about getting that point of being mind blown. So when you first go to your training for charting the life course, it's a lot. It seems like an extra thing that you have to do to support people that you serve, and it seems like more work. It's not intended to be. It's meant to help you have a set of tools, but also principles and framework to support people and to do your job better. So when you first go, your brain is a little fatigued, it's not quite there. Then you start using the tools to plan with people you serve, because you need to practice using the tools. You need to get familiar with those visuals yourself and the language that you would use around those tools, and you're essentially sharing that and teaching those that you're working with. The third is this picture of just being mind blown. It's in all aspects of what you do. It's in all facets of everything that you speak, the practices that you do, and your ways of thinking around planning for people that you serve.
One way we did this at Connections was after we first attended the training, we came back and in our team meeting with our entire agency, administrative staff as well, we challenged everybody to facilitate a conversation, do something, complete a tool with somebody. Just as we know, the tools are not everything, but just to facilitate a conversation and to try. We then tasked them with came back and they shared their successes. We were hoping that as more people hear the successes, the more that maybe people are like, okay, I see how this could be valuable and I'm going to try.
Okay. So how did we get here? I put a relationship star up here, a little triangle. So our connection staff, someone went and got trained back in 2016. We came back and shared it with our staff, and we shared it with the director of the DDRBJC as well. So she was able to take it up to them. We'll share an example of how that was done in a minute. We also work, obviously, with the people that we serve, using the tools and the framework with them. But we also share it with outside agencies. We take it to meetings and events that we go to and attend, and we're just constantly plugging Charting the Life Course and sharing out resources beyond just the tools.
Another way how we, with our staff engagement, we completed a satisfaction survey with the providers and the people served. We took our lowest scored areas, we put them in each of a star, in the middle of a star, and we had our staff problem solve on how to increase those areas. We got a lot of good ideas, so another practical way for them to see the practicality of how to use a support star for problem solving. So at our board level, we have our strategic plan. We have, as Caleb said, we have embedded this into all facets of our organization. So our board strategic plan with our goals is in the Life Course framework. For example, one of our goals for our agency is that we will complete 10 activities to reach the all. We split our star into what we have now as far as our personal strengths and assets, and then as an example, and then what we need to investigate for the future. We also take our vision of what we want for those activities to look like, and we complete a trajectory on how we're going to get there. Each goal is maintained by the supervisors, and they are fulfilled through agency leadership action and committees, which include support, coordinators, and administrative staff. Quarterly, the assigned staff, we add the progress to the plan. We capture what we have done, what actions we have taken to help meet that vision. The progress is then shared quarterly with the board.
Okay, so another way is right from the gate, right out the gate when someone is hired here, we have them complete a life course portfolio, or a one-page profile as we call it. So we're able to learn more about them, what people like and admire about them, what is important to them, and how to best support them. We actually revisit this after about 6 months because we assume that they may not know how to be best supported in the environment of a new workplace. This is maintained at evals, at monthly meetings or quarterly meetings with supervisors, between the supervisor, the supervisee, and the mentor. So even as a supervisor, I'm going to complete this and I'm going to tell my staff how to best support me or what is important to me so that we can work together more effectively. We have something called a core group, which is just a group of people that work together, different case managers, so they have backup for their caseload and they can problem solve. They also share trajectories and profiles between each other so that they can set goals for their groups, and they can also have better, more effective communication and know how to support each other. During eval, some staff use trajectories to plan out goals for their next year. They share that with their supervisors so that they know how to move forward with the goals and be supported so that they can meet the goals that they have at the agency.
So how we do our ongoing staff training, as Kayla mentioned earlier, we do initial training of our new hires. I have them complete, like we mentioned earlier, a one-page profile, also have them go through and complete a vision for your good career and a vision for your good life. We strongly believe, and some of the best advice is the people that, whether your organization, your staff, they need to be familiar with those tools. And one of the best ways to do that is have them complete them on themselves, because we all know Charting the Life Course is not disability specific. One of the things we've done is we've developed a star to show what skills, what technology skills, what resources, personal relationships you're going to need to be successful in this job. During staff meeting engagement, if we attend a stakeholders meeting and there's an activity shared there, we bring that back to our agency and we do the same activity. We always share Life Course, any kind of celebrations in staff meetings. We always like to talk about how did the conversation using Life Course change the way we plan for people. We do intake letters based on life stage. We're developed RAC cards that we're going to send out as an example of a side of what the RAC cards look like, just kind of giving people the initial information about Life Course. We've done several different types of initial information, and we've really found out that we can't give them too much in the beginning because it's overwhelming. So we've tried to find a way to give them the overall what Life Course is, how we use it in our planning, but trimmed down a little bit so it's not so overwhelming. We also have large dry erase integrated stars in every one of our meeting rooms. So if we need a problem to solve, we need to do some mapping, the star is right there to use.
Okay, so we have some resources that we've created and used. Off to the right, you see an example of our 3 buckets. This was formulated and created over time in staff meetings. So we had everybody contribute to going through each of the 3 buckets under the different life stages to share information and resources. We use the stars to problem solve. We have those introductory folders with lots of resource information that goes out to everybody at their intake. And then we also have staff who create tools for problem solving. So we talked about COVID-19 and getting back into our community. We created a portfolio which can be updated and completed at planning meetings, and then that information can be added to the plan later.
So how do we share the knowledge with other outside agencies? Anytime that we're invited to any type of event, we always try to plug Life Course. So any community training events, our regional transition network. One example, we're able to go to schools twice a year and talk about employment opportunities and connections. We always introduce Life Course to those high school students and do some type of activity.
So we believe in celebrating the celebrations, and so we put some examples up here of like a profile that was completed by a kiddo that he wanted to introduce himself and share with new teachers at a new school. We also have the Guardian Stoplight tool, which allows us to break down those domains and assist families. We had someone ask us if they should get guardianship over their daughter because the school suggested it. We used this alternatives to guardianship tool, and we were able to break down what she needed assistance with, and then ultimately the father decided that he could just be a supported decision maker. So we believe in sharing this information and these stories with other people. Okay, so if you have any questions or you want copies of content viewed here or you just want to chat, here's our contact information.